WBQP is your information station.
WBQP celebrates the artists, the legends, and the sound of a generation. Join us all June long for Black Music Month, where the music never stops.
Vernon, it's Wednesday. You better check your lotto tickets. Hope you win. WBQP is encouraging everyone to check, double-check, and double your voting status and vote.
Hello, I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day one. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
WBQP TV has officially declared 2026 as African American History Year. Teach Black history every day.
Since 1951, we've been here for our local community, creating pathways to care. We meet you where you are, with trusted doctors in convenient locations throughout the area. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Reign in the new year with a dazzling smile. Dr. Paul and the team at Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic Dentistry offer expert and comfortable dental care. From tooth replacement to addressing various needs, their friendly staff is ready to assist. Visit their office or call for the care you deserve. Achieve a beautiful smile with Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic.
For 75 years, Baptist has brought innovative care to our community. Through our Andrews Institute, we continue the legacy by providing advanced total joint care, restoring mobility, strength, and quality of life. Baptist Healthcare, here for you then, now, and always.
Sonia Bay's Botanicals is a local wellness boutique that specializes in infused fruit juices, medicinal herbal tea remedies, clean hair and body care, and herbal infused sea moss gels, which can be purchased 1 for $25 or 2 for $40. This sea moss contains 92 of the body's 102 essential minerals used to increase energy, relieve pain and inflammation, and improve blood pressure and more. From parasite cleanse to detox and weight loss to blood sugar control, Sonia Bay's Botanicals has a natural solution for you.
WBQP honors, respects, and celebrates June as Pride Month.
Check and double-check your voting status. Get out and vote.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say, together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer, we've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
I remember these. Will I have the money to send my kid to college? Well, that's specific. How long has that been there? 7-letter word for a bank that helps you reach your goals.
Synovus. Order for Synovus?
Thank you.
Are you Synovus?
Yes.
Are you gonna ask or should I?
A solid financial future doesn't happen by chance. Let's talk about your potential today.
Hi, this is Shale Gatson of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida. We come on this thankful Thursday. This is our thankful Thursday. And we thank God for bringing us across the midweek. And if you don't mind, pray with me just a few words of prayer. Father God, we come this morning praying. We come on this day, Thankful Thursday, to say thank you as we pursue you right where you are. And our heart's desire is to say thank you. Even in the midst of our trials and tribulations, our heart's desire is to say thank you. Because we know that you're the only wise God for a people like us. So dear God, we've pressed our way like the woman with the issue of blood, just to say thank you, Lord, for being who you are. You're our God, we're your people, and we give you all the glory, all the honor on this Thursday. And let the church say, amen.
Hi, Vernon. Here's your WBQP weekly weather forecast. Thursday continues with partly cloudy skies, a high near 84 degrees, a low around 78, and a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms. And we wrap up the week on Friday with a high of 85 degrees, a low around 76, and a 60% chance of showers. Overall, expect hot temperatures, high humidity, and a daily chance of showers. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekly weather forecast on WBQP TV.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
Soul, jazz, blues, and R&B, celebrating black music history. All month long, sing along. June is Black Music.
WBQP wishes everyone a happy Juneteenth.
From the station that cares.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
All right, Pensacola, good morning. You got Vernon this morning. Yes, we do. Yeah, we're going to try to get in a little bit into the news this morning, if we can. I'll tell you, it will see what we can going on in the world. Let me find my news. Can I find my news intro here this morning for Thursday morning? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You got Vernon this morning.
Skies,
so
a high near 84 degrees, a low around 78, and a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms. And we wrap up the week on Friday with a high of 85 degrees, a low around 76, and a 60% chance of showers. Overall, expect hot temperatures, high humidity, and a daily chance of showers. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekly weather forecast on WBQP TV.
all right, y'all. Good morning. Let's get into some of our news stories this morning, if you will. We're gonna bring you some news you can use this morning. Okay. All right. DEA, the DEA, y'all, it's been busy around town, around the community here. They've been over in Alabama and Florida investigating what's going on this morning in the news. They serving warrants around the county. Okay, they serving warrants. The DEA is the Drug Enforcement Administration, y'all. They serve raids in homes in Brewton, Alabama, and Atmore, Alabama, and Cantonment, Florida, and so forth. And so therefore, y'all, it's been a busy Yeah, it's been a busy area for the drug administration, y'all. It sure is. But in so if you have been if you've been bothered by that, you definitely will you definitely will let me see here. I lost my place in the news. But anyway, let's move on. But anyway, that's the DEA. DEA been busy around the area. They've been into Santa Rosa County, Baldwin County, and Escambia County, Alabama, y'all, serving arrest warrants and searching homes and so forth. Okay, and so if you're affected by that, well, I don't know. But anyway, let's go on to the next story here, if you will. The next story here talks about, we always, every day we always have to report some crash. And 3 people was hospitalized, y'all, after this crash here that happened on Fairfield Drive in Hollywood yesterday. 3 people was was involved or had to go to the hospital last night. According to the Highway Patrol, they say that a 27-year-old Pensacola man was critically hurt in that crash, and while he was driving on Fairfield Drive when he was rear-ended a car that is in front of him, and that other car rear-ended another car and kind of caused a chain reaction there. But he kept driving through the intersection, and when that first collision caused the second car to crash into the front end of the other car, and on and on and on. And these are young people. One 27 years old, one was 21 years old, one was 20 years old. And so as a result, they were hospitalized. Okay. Let's go on to something more critically. Well, and nothing is more critical than, I guess, people going to the hospital. But let me tell you, let's go on to some weather. I always tell you about when I was coming up, we used to have news, weather, and sports. Now the weather is the news. Okay. The weather is the news. We got a tropical storm out there, y'all, called Tropical Storm Arthur, and it threatens us here on the Gulf Coast. So will you make sure that you keep your eye out on Hurricane Arthur, because last time they checked, it was trying to produce some winds around 45 miles an hour, and it's going to be moving into Louisiana and then into the Gulf Coast, along the Gulf Coast line, which is threatening to have some life-threatening flooding. And of course, we've seen some of the rains the other day, but they're gonna have we are expected some heavy rainfall. So you make sure that you keep your eye out on your weather station, such as WEAR TV. And I'm reporting this because I'm reporting this from WEAR. They want people to be safe, and so these are the areas that we're talking about. There's disturbance they looked at. The WEAR reporting that disturbance started down in this area here, and it's affecting us along the Gulf Coast line there. So we got a potential tropical, cyclone there, which is going to eventually affect us. So, but the name of the story, that's why I gave you a weather report this morning. So I want you to be safe, because there are going to be some heavy rains. But I hope we dodge the bullet, but I don't think so. Now, folks over in, I believe in Santa Rosa County, they're offering some free sandbags, and also in Escambia County. Go to your regular places, if you will. If you're living in a low-lying area that's subject to flood and so forth, go and see if you can find some sand, and go ahead and get your sandbags and so forth, and they will gladly help you with sand over in Santa Rosa County or Escambia County. Okay, so be warned. Okay, and do not take this storm lightly. Okay, please do not take this storm lightly. All right, let's go to another story here, y'all. The Florida Department of Transportation has scrapped plans to convert Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and Davis Highway into a two-way street. There was some initiative, I believe, back in 2020, where there was talk about creating, converting as well, MLK Drive and Davis Highway into a two-way street for safety reasons. And but apparently that project has been scratched. Mayor DC Reed said they have $6 million, which is money for the city. It costs $6 million, which he said that's money that the city doesn't have, and so that may not happen. Now, people that live along that route, they're not happy about it, because for safety reasons, they're saying that they should open the road to two-way traffic, because people think that's a speedway down there. So after 6 years of discussion, MLK Drive and Davis Highway will remain a one-way street, y'all. Unfortunately, so be advised, okay? Be advised. All right, let's move on to another story that happens over in Mobile, Alabama. You know, yesterday, the feds came in. The Fed came in yesterday and arrested a deputy that's involved in the Pritchard Police Department, and so the Mobile County Sheriff Office is taking over the law enforcement duties over in Pritchard, Alabama. So the mayor of Pritchard, she's saying that they'll get through this as well. All right, y'all, some other stories here that you might want to keep your feel good story you want to keep your eyes on, because this story here helps save lives, if you will. These hospitality workers in Pensacola Beach participated into a emergency response training, and that is a good thing. If you are involved with that, please do so. I was reading an article just the other day where a little girl, must have been 6, 7 years old, learned how to do CPR at a school, saved her father's life. Her father passed out, and so they had to continue to do CPR until the paramedics got there, and she was on the phone with them and was able to save her father's life as a result of her CPR training. All right, y'all, we talked a lot yesterday about moving MLK portrait out of the White House. In fact, I played a video on there. I want to replay the video too, of the last interview that Chappie James gave before, 5 days before he died. 5 days before he retired and 35 days before he died, which was a very interesting interview. And if you hadn't seen it, everybody should look at that video. I want to play it again, and so you have to stay tuned to this station to actually see that video. But the Pentagon is sticking with their reasoning that the portrait of Chappie James was moved because for restoration reasons. So there have been some questions about whether or not that is the official reason, or is a victim of this administration assault on DEI. So stay tuned for more information about that. We will see if it gets moved back. Okay. All right, let's go to another story here. 8 illegal. When they reported on this sometime ago, I believe it was. These are 8 illegal immigrants. They was indicted for illegally re-entering back into the U.S. And so their cases have been filed, and these are of cases that have been filed over in Okaloosa and Santa Rosa County, at least according to those court records. So we have 8 immigrants. That's you see that remote shot here have been charged. Now the penalty for re-entering the United States after you were deported is a maximum of 2 years in prison and a $250,000 fine, uh, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Now, I don't know, and like I said, this is commentary now, but what conditions you are living in, maybe 2 years in prison might be better than what you're living in where you are. Obviously, some people sneaking back into this country in order to to risk that. Okay, so I don't know, y'all. Y'all help me understand all of this stuff. All right, let's move on to another story here in Escambia County. The day is Thursday. They usually hold their Escambia County board meeting today, y'all. If you haven't got any coffee, get your coffee, okay? Take a sip of mine so I can get my brain to working this morning. But the Escambia County Commission, y'all, is still weighing in on what they are going to do about the shortfalls if, in fact, that property tax measure passes back and passes the ballot this fall. So the question keep piling up with them, how they're going to prepare for a possible $43 million loss. And so they had a kind of a spirited discussion about it yesterday, and they're going to continue to talk about it because they're saying that that's cut more than 20% of their budget. And so my commissioner, which is District 2, Mike Coulter, said that it's not honest for us to keep saying that in the commission say that unless the legislation give us some money, there's some of the unknowns that they don't know yet. They don't know how they're going to do that shortfall. And this has to do with the proposal that the governor trying to pass and he wanted to do away with property tax altogether, but the legislation compromised and did some other things, which resulted in almost the same thing. And but they put it on the ballot to see what the people say. And if the people say, then these agencies have to figure out how to figure out how to come up with a shortfall. Now, your Secretary of Health, Unhealth, Bobby Kennedy, says that obesity has dropped 2.5% since Trump got in office. And maybe Trump picked him up, I guess. I look at him, he looked like his obesity increased by 2.5%. So maybe that's where the weight loss went. I don't know, but anyhow, I'm not gonna spend time on that boy. There's something wrong with him as well. Okay, Kennedy, something wrong with him. Anyway, this Pensacola couple here was indicted. They was indicted on federal meth charges and for just trying to distribute meth and fentanyl, and then also got gun charges. I learned something the other day. You see these people, you see how old they look, okay? And I learned this from Judge Judy, okay? Listen to Judge Judy. I didn't know this, but then I heard her mention it, and then I researched it. And according to the research, she may be right. Last Friday, I showed a 23-year-old man when the sheriff Chip Simmons and I had arrested, and I'd be damned if I thought I had the wrong man, because the man was 23 years old, but he looked at least 50. So the sheriff and I had had a little chuckle about that because he thought the same thing. And I thought it was, so we never discussed this before, but when he started talking about it, he mentioned how old the guy looked, and I thought the same thing when I saw the picture, and so, and I wonder what contributed to that. Well, let me tell you what I found out since then. I'm a navigate watcher of Judge Judy, and she had a case there where a person came in looking the same way, looking old, and she couldn't believe how old they looked. And what she discovered was that people that using meth, they said it increases their aging process. Meth increases aging process. And so I didn't know that. And then I looked it up. And absolutely, she's absolutely on point. So, at any rate, these two people here, they look a lot older than what they really are. And these people here are in their 30s, okay? But they don't look like it. But they was arrested and facing charges after grand jury indicted them for the possession of meth and fentanyl with the intent to distribute. And so they're looking at some time in jail. If they're convicted, they could get at least 10 years in prison and up to life on the drug possession count alone. But they can also get at least 5 years in prison to life for the firearm charges, with the also the attempt to trafficking drugs. That count can get them up to 15 years in prison. So that it is. That's the way it is, y'all. On what that newsman used to say, it said that's the way it is. Okay. All right. Let's move on to a different story. Let's go. This is a state story here. Local. Trump yesterday, I believe it's on yesterday, they announced that they're going to stop funding certain programs and that affect the disability. Well, I'm not clear exactly how that really going to play out. Some say he stopped funding this program. Others says that he took the program from the Department of Education and moved it over to the Department of Health. But the bottom line is that will be affecting kids with disability. And so what it's going to turn out to be, we don't know. I need you to stay tuned to that because the administration, when they plan to move this special education oversight program to the Department of Health and Human Services, we don't know how that's going to change. But we do know that the program served more than 442,000 students here in Florida that has disability, and that's probably about $786 million in annual federal idea funding, if you will. So they're thinking about how that is going to play out. So keep your eyes out on that story as well. All right, the next story here that I'm going to talk about here. What is this story here? Having to do with the U.S. and Iran. Y'all listen to that rambling speech that boy gave yesterday. Oh Lord! And now everybody that agreement he said he came up, that page and a half agreement. Oh Lord! Idiocracy is just. I don't know what is happening in this country and why we allow this man to continue to fall in these traps. I don't know. He said he just signed a deal, and but it didn't mean anything. Iran, I told you, I've been telling you all along, Iran has played this sucker like a sucker as he is. Okay, they're just proving it. They're just smarter than he is. Okay. All right, let's move on to another story before my Trump derangement syndrome starts kicking in. Again, this man here, he is vying to be He used to be Trump's personal lawyer. Now he wants to be. He was the deputy at the Department of Justice, the deputy attorney general. Now five and be the attorney general. Now he's issuing um, lawsuits against New York for failing to stop fraud. And but I don't want you to. Trump has released his Justice Department on nothing but Democratic cities, and you tell me if justice is blind. Okay. Another one good thing I think it might be happening on the horizon, but we will see what happening with this crooked, corrupt administration. How they're really grifting the American people and the world. Politicians now over in Europe is calling on Albania to stop the construction project that linked to Jared Kushner. If you don't know who Jared Kushner is, he's the husband of Ivanka Trump, which is the daughter of Donald Trump. Okay, and so and he played a major role in the Trump first administration. So keep your eyes out on that story. Okay. All right, let's go to Georgia. You know, Georgia had their elections last week, and now Governor Kemp, he's a Georgia Republican governor over there. He has refused to redistrict after the call for a special session. Okay, so keep your eyes on that story as well. Georgia Republican Governor Brian Kemp called a special section, but they refused to. They called a petition, but they refused to redistrict in Georgia. So Georgia's a hot spot. Georgia may determine what the next election would be. So keep your eyes out on those stories over there as well. Another story here, this national story here is Americans' political ideals are more complex, and somebody did a study on it. So I'm not going to get into that. It's not even worth dealing with. Now, here's another national story in relationship to how we're going to celebrate America's birthday. Okay, how we're going to celebrate America's birthday, and how Black folks celebrate America's birthday. But America 250, they planning a Los Angeles concert on July 4th. I missed that whole big celebration that Trump is planning up in La La Land. Okay, so keep your eyes out on that story as well. Now, another story you need to keep your eyes out on, which is a national story, ex-firefighters are still struggling with PTSD, and they have they want to be aware of the issues that they're experiencing as they say that this stuff kind of builds up on them. So in addition to June being Pride Month, we're going to have, speaking of Pride Month, we're going to have a special guest on next week talking about Pride Month. In addition to June being Black Music Month, in addition to June being Juneteenth month, June is also PTSD Awareness Month. Okay, and so we want you to keep aware of that. PTSD is I call it a national health problem here in the United States of America. Okay, now we first started associating PTSD with soldiers coming back from war, but we soon learned that PTSD could be happening to anybody that got involved in any emotional, stressful situation. You could suffer PTSD from being into an abusive relationship. You could suffer PTSD from any kind of emotional event that you ran across firefighters and first responders, and a lot of people are into that situation. So, and maybe you have PTSD that's been undiagnosed. So you may need to talk to you if you experience any kind of trauma situation there. You probably need to talk to your doctor about it, because you may also as well to be experiencing PTSD. But June is PTSD Awareness Month, and we're going to see if we can find somebody in the medical field to come on as well to talk about PTSD, because that is certainly is a issue all around. This man here, if I'm pronouncing his name right, Bill, they call him Bill Esseli. I think it's Bill Esseli. They was talking about crackdown on fraud in California. Again, remember what I said earlier? The Trump administration targeting blue states, okay, blue cities, Democratic cities. Nothing is done in the in other states that Trump called red states. So how are we going to allow this outlaw administration to just have his will? I don't know. You that's why you really need to vote in November, so we can bring some justice back to the Justice Department, bring some justice back to this country. Otherwise, we're going to be really, really, really in serious trouble, y'all. Serious trouble. All right, y'all. We talked a lot about different news stories. A lot of news stories didn't get a chance to talk about, but I just wanted to just give you something to talk about during the day, so you don't have to sit down and look at a whole half an hour newscast. I was just trying to summarize it for you, if you will. All righty, now when we come back from the break, hopefully I'll be talking to Ms. Robin Richard. We're going to talk about Black history, local Black history, and some other subjects. We tend to get into a lot of different things when we get on in the morning. We hopefully going to be also joined by Mr. Jerry McIntyre, which is my special guest in the morning as well. Also, before we get into that, before we go to our commercial break, y'all, if you will, before you go to our commercial break, I want to install a new little piece called our sports report. So I'm going to give you a little quick sports report, what's going on in Pensacola, and then we'll go to a commercial break, and then we come back, or we'll be talking to Robin Richard. Thank you.
Good morning, Vernon. Here's what's happening on the Pensacola sports scene. High school sports across Escambia and Santa Rosa counties continue to showcase outstanding athletic talent. Several area football programs are already engaged in summer workouts and team camps as coaches prepare for the upcoming season. Escambia, Pine Forest, Tate, Pensacola, and Booker T. Washington high schools are reporting strong participation numbers as student athletes focus on conditioning and skill development. On the baseball front, local youth leagues are wrapping up summer tournament play, with several teams advancing to regional competition. Coaches say the increased participation reflects growing interest in youth sports throughout the Gulf Coast region. Meanwhile, Pensacola's sports community remains excited about upcoming college football preparations. The University of West Florida Argonauts continue off-season training with expectations of another competitive season in Division II football. WBQP encourages parents, coaches, and community organizations to submit scores, schedules, and athlete achievements for recognition on future broadcasts. We remain committed to highlighting the accomplishments of local athletes who represent Northwest Florida and South Alabama with excellence both on and off the field. That's your WBQP Sports Report. Stay tuned for more local news, weather, and community information. I am Orion, your WBQP Sports Reporter, and thank you for watching and listening to WBQP, your community connection.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now. Get up. For Mornings with Vernon. let's go. Get up now, turn it up now. 1, 2, 3, let's get it now.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's a beautiful day out there, and let's get you caught up on everything.
WBQP goals are to inform, to inspire, to educate, and to entertain. The station that cares.
WBQP proudly declares 2026 as the official African American History Year. Join us as we teach this vital history every day.
Check and double check your voting status. Get out and vote.
Hello, I'm Dr. Isaac Williams, and I'm running for School Board District 3. Our community is asking for change, and I agree. District 3 deserves change. District 3 deserves a representative who will listen, communicate, and stay connected to the community. Our students need every opportunity to succeed. Our teachers need support, and our community and parents need a voice. I've spent my time as a servant leader in the Marine Corps, as a pastor, as a community activist, and I'm prepared now to serve District 3 on day one. And I will be honored to earn your support and your vote on August 18th. God bless you. God keep you.
Viola's Menswear, 2727 West Cervantes Street, Pensacola, Florida. Gentlemen, fine clothing at an affordable price. Suits starting at $139. Dress, shoes, hats, and accessories. Here at Viola's Menswear, 2727 West Cervantes Street in Pensacola, Florida. Call today at 429-7146, 2727 West Cervantes Street in Pensacola, Florida.
WBQP honors, respects, and celebrates June as Pride Month.
Reign in the new year with a dazzling smile. Dr. Paul and the team at Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic Dentistry offer expert and comfortable dental care. From tooth replacement to addressing various needs, their friendly staff is ready to assist. Visit their office or call for the care you deserve. Achieve a beautiful smile with Marcus E. Paul DMD Gentle Family and Cosmetic.
Sonia Bay's Botanicals is a local wellness boutique that specializes in infused fruit juices, medicinal herbal tea remedies, clean hair and body care, and herbal infused sea moss gels, which can be purchased 1 for $25 or 2 for $40. This sea moss contains 92 of the body's 102 essential minerals used to increase energy, relieve pain and inflammation, and improve blood pressure and more. From parasite cleanse to detox and weight loss to blood sugar control, Sonia Bay's Botanicals has a natural solution for you.
WBQP honors, respects, and celebrates June as Pride Month.
WBQP proudly declares 2026 as the official African American History Year. Join us as we teach this vital history every day.
Hello, I'm David Williams, District 3 Representative, seeking re-election to the Escambia County School Board. 4 years ago, I said, together we can make a difference. Today, I'm proud to say together we have made a difference, thanks to your trust. And because of you, we do not have any failing schools. Our schools are safer. We've closed the achievement gap, and our students are college and career ready. I'm asking for your support again to re-elect me so that we continue the work that we started 4 years ago. Please visit my website at davidwilliams3.com to learn more about my initiatives I have accomplished and the ones I will pursue over the next 4 years. Early voting is August 8th through the 15th, and the primary is August 18th. Your vote is essential to keeping our community moving forward. Thank you.
WBQP is encouraging everyone to check, double check, and double your voting status and vote.
Blues Hound Show every Saturday, 10 a.m.
Soul, jazz, blues, and R&B, celebrating black music history. All month long, sing along. June is Black Music.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Call State Farm agent Arthur Searcy for your personal price plan today.
Tell everybody. WBQP TV and WBQP Radio are your information stations.
WBQP salutes the spirit of America, celebrating 250 years of freedom. Happy birthday, USA!
Hi, this is Shale Gatson of Emmaus Baptist Church, Pensacola, Florida. We come on this thankful Thursday. This is our thankful Thursday. And we thank God for bringing us across the midweek. And if you don't mind, pray with me just a few words of prayer. Father God, we come this morning praying. We come on this day, thankful Thursday, to say thank you as we pursue you right where you are. And we our heart's desire is to say thank you. Even in the midst of our trials and tribulations, Our heart's desire is to say thank you, because we know that you're the only wise God for a people like us. So, dear God, we've pressed our way like the woman with the issue of blood, just to say thank you, Lord, for being who you are. You're our God, we're your people, and we give you all the glory, all the honor on this Thursday. And let the church say, amen.
Hi, Vernon. Here's your WBQP weekly weather forecast. Thursday continues with partly cloudy skies, a high near 84 degrees, a low around 78, and a 50% chance of scattered thunderstorms. And we wrap up the week on Friday with a high of 85 degrees, a low around 76, and a 60% chance of showers. Overall, expect hot temperatures, high humidity, and a daily chance of showers. This is Cheryl Mulrain, and that's your weekly weather forecast on WBQP TV.
WBQP wishes everyone a happy Juneteenth.
From the station that cares.
Start your day with Mornings with Vernon on WBQP, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9 a.m. Watch on Channel 12 and listen on WBQP Radio on your phone, Alexa, or CarPlay. WBQP is your information station.
All right, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. WBQP. It's 7:30, y'all. Now, actually, it's almost 7:40. Ain't no 7:30. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning, Vernon. Good morning, Gulf Coast. Well, I should say good morning, America. I probably should say good morning, world. Good
morning, world. That's right. Yeah.
But Thomas Friedman said the world is flat. So, and he didn't mean physically. He meant because of the digital connection.
And they want, hey, our ambassador to the Bahamas. You know who that is, don't you?
Herschel Walker. I don't know what his title, what his honorific is. I just call him Herschel Walker.
Yeah, Herschel Walker is. You got some conspiracy theories saying that the world is flat, right? And so Herschel Walker saying, well, that couldn't be true because we got mountains.
So this is the ambassador, right? This is
the ambassador.
The ambassador
for the United States to the Bahamas. I saw him on the other day, seriously, and they would, how come everything about this administration they just make it just seem like a joke, but of all of the things that he could have been welcoming folks to the Bahamas and things, he fixated on the fact that what you call these things you put, these little motorcraft you got out there on the water?
Jet skis.
Jet skis. He's saying something about just jet skis are too dangerous, something like that. Folks can come down and rent no jet skis. Something stupid,
stupid.
What is stupid is?
Well, I have to remember that in 50 years, somebody's going to celebrate the fact that he is the ambassador to the Bahamas, even if nothing as a historical note. 50 years, 100 years, they're going to be talking about it the same way that I talk about someone in history. And the thing is, even though we celebrate them because they are African American, so even they say, well, I happen to be African American. You don't happen to be African American. You happen to be an ambassador. You happen to be a doctor. You happen to be a journalist. You're not. You don't happen to be African American. So someone's going to celebrate the fact that they're African American, that they're in this position, and whatever that appendage is. They're a woman. They're LGBTQ. They're Arkansas, whatever that is. That they're going to celebrate that. Mm-hmm. The fact is that So some of the people that I celebrate, probably many of the people that I celebrate in history, probably would not even have me at their house. so, so we celebrate them because of because of this distinction. But in fact, this personal connection may not even have been there. I adore Sojourner Truth for what she did. I adore Coretta Scott King. I adore Ida B. Wells Barnett. Locally, I adore James Polkinghorne. I adore James Polkinghorne Jr., doctor, and James Polkinghorne Jr. I adore Myrtle Watson Brown. The true fact, as they say, the true fact is that we may not even have crossed paths socially or politically or anything like that. Right now, we have the benefit of the way that I do. I have the benefit of this reflection, armchair quarterbacking, if you will, and celebrating them. But they probably would be. I'm not saying they would, but I'm just saying some of these people would be talking about me like a dog, But here we are celebrating their honorific. So to your point about Herschel Walker, these things that he's saying right now that make no sense to us now.
Yeah.
In 50 years and 100 years, someone's going to be celebrating the fact that he was in that position, if nothing else, because, they're going to say, well, he's from Georgia. So here's the first Georgian I don't know if it's true, but the first Georgian is to be in Alabama or wherever he's really registered. May not even be Georgia, may have been Texas. The first Texan to be ambassador, first whatever, this distinction that we're giving him. Vernon, they probably wouldn't even invite you to their gala.
I know, but Robin, that begs our whole point here, and knowing your history, knowing your history, whether you're Black history or not, but knowing history, period. If they were to teach stuff about, then you can make your own decision about how well you like them. I never forget.
An informed decision. You can make these informed decisions, these informed points about people. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. When I was coming up in school, in elementary school and high school, and I took high school history, and so they were celebrating this guy called Andrew Jackson. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and I thought Andrew Jackson was a hero. Okay. But when I got to college, okay, and I started studying Andrew Jackson, I found out that he's such a scoundrel. Okay, responsible for eliminating a whole race of people, the Trail of Tears, and all the stuff that Andrew Jackson. He became the first person I became to not like in history. I was shocked when they really, I thought these was heroes, and when I found out the true history of Andrew Jackson, I didn't like him anymore. I still don't like him to this day because of the atrocities that he done. And also we should celebrate the fact about. Don't talk about history again, folks. That's why you need to read history. Everybody's talking about General Custer at the Little Bighorn. He should be celebrated as the hero there. No, he should not be celebrated as the hero there. He got massacred just as he should have been, if you ask me, because of what they was doing. So I think to your point, now if folks knew the history of Herschel Walker other than football, if they would know his political history, maybe they wouldn't be celebrating his ambassadorship to the Bahamas during the Trump administration. I don't know, but that's why I think history is important.
Well, that's part of the challenge, if you will, in celebrating people, that you can't physically celebrate the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't physically do that. You can do that in your heart, you can do that in your head, you can do it morally, you can do it ethically, but you can't do that physically. You can't take that physical person. I remember I had this disagreement with my father, who he loved African American history. He loved our family history, so genealogy. He also loved religious history. His whole deal was Masonic history. He was a scholar. He belonged to this organization that was like the Mensa for the Masons, where you write these scholarly.
Like the 33rd degree or something like that.
He
You know,
was.
those,
He
the
was.
30,
He was
okay.
Grandmaster. In fact, he was Grandmaster for the state of Arkansas, and was on the national. I'm gonna get the title wrong, but he was on the National Council for the whole nation. Was often at the White House, and so he was well known. And as he used to say in his own mind, well loved, well respected. And so there was a gentleman who was writing a book about Albert Pike, and Albert Pike was a Mason, and I forget which fraternity he belonged to. So I'll say he belonged to one of the fraternal orders. Let me say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But he was also, it was uncovered, like it was done here with T.T. Wentworth, that he was part of the Klan, and there was this movement to remove his statue, and at the time it was on this federal land, so it was this whole conversation, and so Daddy said, leave the statue up. How do you then separate this person? How do you, in the words, was it okay, we got to get Reverend J.O. Gaston on here. We're not biblical scholars, but how do you divide the baby? Who is that? Took the baby? Moses, Abraham? Who? Not Moses. Yeah. Abraham took the baby. Yeah. How do you divide the baby? What is that? What is that right decision to make? And so we disagreed on that, but I understood his point, though, that how can you divide this person from these, as you're saying, these atrocities that they do? So you have this good, but then you have this bad thing over here, and you have this very ugly thing. And sometimes those go along with, that ugly goes along with trying to do a perceived good. So he was saying, we're trying to claim this land, we're trying to expand this for these new Americans, but then you're destroying these original, if you want to call this America, you're destroying these original Americans. And so how do you divide those? And so my was remove the statue and go put it somewhere, go put it somewhere else. That was my deal. And so it's, it can be celebrated, as Trevor Noah always says, in context, that you have to celebrate these things in context, because even with Andrew Jackson, so his whole idea is first, president here of the Confederacy. And so, we have a lot of what we have today because of his work. And let me append that, because of a lot of his atrocious work, as you're saying. Even when he went to hand off, was it Spain? When Spain went to hand off to the United States, because we're known as the City of Five Flags. It's not official anymore. We're known as the City of Five Flags because of these 5 different institution systems that we were under, and one being the Confederate. And so here he's Andrew Jackson, representing the United States, is getting ready to hand off. The night before, Dean DeBolt out at the university told me this story, so I'm going to get the essence of it right. I'm going to may get some of the details wrong, but the night before, Andrew Jackson, I'm going to say ticked, because we're on TV. he ticked the Spanish delegate off so bad with his whole aura, with his words. He was an affront to them. That they ended up taking the documents, a lot of the documents that we need to uncover this history. They went to Cuba and ended up taking a lot of those documents there, a lot of the governmental documents. They ended up taking them there. Then it turns out, as we're going through right now, there was a storm. And so a lot of those documents were either lost or we don't know what happened to them. In that storm, literally went down with the ship in that storm the night before. So here you are, you getting ready to gain this country, to gain this territory, and you're going to tick off, I want to say the P word, but you're going to tick off the very government that you're gaining this from. And so that was the type of person that he was, even that he's getting ready to do this good thing, and gaining this territory for America. Then he goes and does this affront to and I think they even threatened him or some of his leadership with jail. It was so bad. It was so bad. So and please, if you're a Jackson scholar, let us know what those details. The Jackson scholar listeners, just let us know what those details are that happened here, because it was, to me, that he's showing who he is. He's showing who he is. You're getting ready to gain the whole world, but literally he's willing to lose his soul to gain this whole world. And so you're right. So how do you celebrate? And you asked that question last week. How do you celebrate America at 250 when all of these atrocities have happened? I'm going to be on a call tonight. Ken Burns, I'm trying to remember who the other, Ken Burns and Dr. Vincent Brown, talking about the patriots of color in the American Revolution. And so here they are, of course, we know the American Revolution was mostly fought in the North, although we have Fort George and some others that are here. But here they are, some of them either free or enslaved, or even if they were of color, they were considered culturally second-class citizens. And and yet they are fighting for the freedom of this whole country. So you're literally saying, I'm going to fight for your right to ride the bus, but then when I get on the bus, you make me go to the back. But I'm going to fight for your right to ride this bus. It's like Black folks go to the military. I'm going to fight for this country that still says that I am perceived as less than or second class, or I am not smart enough because of my zip code, or because I'm in a single parent household, or do some other stereotype, because I wear my pants sagging, that I'm all somehow less than. And so I think we have to not only bear the burden of making that sort of decision, but to keep, as those that I named earlier, Coretta Scott King, Sojourner Truth, Ida B. Wells, Barnett, Lieutenant James Polkinghorne, who was at FAMU and then went to fight in World War II. You have to keep moving forward. You do. You have to take those lessons and then keep moving forward. And it ain't nothing wrong with fussing about it. It ain't. I know that ain't good English. It ain't nothing wrong with fussing about it and fighting about it, because at the same time that you want to move forward, you want to move forward righteously. And if America has learned nothing else, it is that we can do better on being righteous. We can do, even as we celebrate. We said we're celebrating his birthday, but Lord, we got some lessons that we still have not learned from. And two of those are the ones that you named, Custer and Jackson, and yeah.
It would kind of bring another subject up to me that I always wondered about, and I need to do some research on this, Robin. But I know are you familiar with the Spring Honor? I think it's the Spring Honor Awards with the
NAACP. Joel, based on the contributions of, it was named based on the contributions of Joel Spingarn. Yes,
right, Spingarn. Okay, yeah. Now they later discovered, so they say, they say that he was a plant, if you will, for the FBI. Did you hear that story?
I've heard that. Yeah. Milana Karinga, Dr. Milana Karinga.
No, tell me. What's his name? What's his name?
Kwanzaa.
Mr. Kwanzaa. Okay, what about Mr. Kwanzaa?
Mr. Kwanzaa. It has been it has been in the zeitgeist that he that he worked early for one of those 3-letter agencies too. I don't know if it was the FBI or the CIA, but that is and I guess you would have to pull the internal files. You'd have to do a Freedom of Information request to ascertain unless someone has pulled that, and you can get a hold of those documents. It's the what is the spy who sat by the door, Dr. LaSharon talking about.
It was the spook that sit by the door. You read that book, the spook that sit by the door. Yeah. But that also begs the difference too, Robin. When we talked last week also, I don't know what you and I talked, maybe Jerry, one of us had a discussion about politicians, okay? And but you may not agree with the politicians that you have, but if they're doing if they're helping your organization, so what? You know what I'm saying? It's just not Spingarner, okay? He may have been additionally placed in there to spy on the NAACP, but his accomplishment is well documented and well known to the fact that they was willing to name the highest award that NAACP put out.
Yeah.
In the name of his honor. Okay. And so that's what I tell people all of the time about jobs and everything else. As long as people contributing to the cause goodly, not madly, but good, you know, it's a net sum game, wouldn't you think?
Well, and so I'm going to put this back in yours. So would you give that same grace to somebody like Andrew Jackson?
Well, but I can't see any good he did.
I'm asking the question.
No, what I'm saying, if I can see, let's compare the two. Let's compare the two, okay?
Let's listen. Andrew Jackson was not fighting for civil rights, so we're not. I don't even know if there's a compare. And he was not fighting for civil rights. Number one. So at least Joel Spingarn, I'm going to give you that. At least Joel Spingarn was fighting for the civil and human rights for all. Yeah, because Andrew Jackson really did want to keep the status quo. So, but go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
See, if it would, and I guess I got this saying about who you are is where you were when, okay? Maybe if I was
who you are, say that again.
Who you are is where you were when.
Okay, that's context. Yeah, that's context.
Yeah, that's context. Who you are. So now, if I was a white Southerner or white racist, then I would honor Andrew Jackson. But knowing who I am, I fight for civil rights, and when I look at a man that eliminated a whole race of people, his whole goal was to annihilate a nation of people like Native Americans, and he did it successfully, even to the point of Trail of Tears and so forth. And he was awarded for it for doing that and being the president of the United States. So I mean, if you're looking at it from if you're on that side of the coin, maybe so, but on my side of the coin, I see nothing to celebrate for him. Like Vernon, I might not agree with him. Number one, he was white, okay? And number two, that he was a spy, but
he considered himself he was Jewish. So, and that may have been why he thought that if this in fact was true, just like Milana Karinga, because he's African American, so that he may have thought then it's going to make it easier for me to further my cause, whether it's celebration of African and African American culture, as in Karinga, or whether it is gaining equal and civil human rights on Spingarn. So they're using this part of them, this Jewishness or this blackness to gain favor for these government agencies, if in fact that is true. Yeah. So
and I guess that go back to good morning, Jerry. How you doing?
Great. How y'all doing this morning?
We didn't want to leave you out of the conversation, but the conversation been leading up to, should we thought I was talking about Herschel Walker. Should we be celebrating people that may not serve our best interest, but if it turns out to be that they may be serving our best interest that you might not agree with, so
like who?
Well, he started out with the ambassador Herschel Walker, And so I said, I said Herschel Walker and jet ski. So this thing that's been in the news, apparently that yeah, he's inviting people to what, Jamaica.
Yeah.
All he can talk about is the jet skis.
Jet skis, yeah.
Yeah, not the people, not the environment, not the recreation, not the tourism, but the jet skis. And so yeah.
So he the ambassador to Jamaica?
That.
Read
it in
to
week.
the Bahamas. I think it's Bahamas. I don't
Bahamas.
know. Yeah.
Bahamas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now I missed that one.
Really? Really?
I missed that one.
Okay.
I don't know how I missed it, but I missed it.
And my point, Jerry, was that in 50 years, in 75, 100 years, someone's going to be celebrating the fact that he's the first. I don't know this. I'm just going to use as an example. He's the first African American. He's the first NFL football player. He's the first Texan. He's the first Georgian to be in this position. Whatever it is that that's his distinction is gonna be celebrated. But but we,
regardless of that.
He wouldn't invite us to his house, and perhaps in Vernon's case, he really don't want to go. I want to go and see if he got a swimming pool. That's all I want to do. I like good swimming pool. I want to
see if he own any jet skis.
It's gonna be some footnotes underneath it.
It's gonna be a whole bunch of footnotes. Whole bunch of footnotes underneath. But I think that's it's like the whole deal when they wanted to when the opposition to Martin Luther King, when the opposition to his way to gain civil and human rights, the opposition to his whole essence of freedom and equality, when someone wanted to talk about that, they would bring up that it was said that he had extramarital affairs. And so then even J. Edgar Hoover was said as head of the FBI that he had this file, that he had this dossier on him. And so that, don't get too big for your britches, Dr. King. Let's pull you down by leaking this information out there. Yeah. There's some people that are standing by as you ascend. There are some people that are standing by that are working very hard to make sure that you can descend.
Well, you know what, Robin and Jerry, but that go back to what we've been talking about all along, and go back to everything is politics, if you will. Now, good question. Can you and maybe that answers the question on why these people support this administration. If people doing your bidding for you, can you hold your nose? Or let's take for an example, okay, Robin. Let's take for an example. Now I don't know what it's been said, but I don't know whether it's true or not. But let's say for an example, if it was proven, okay, it's hypothetical, y'all. This is a hypothetical question, so nobody take it out of context.
Alleged. You say
alleged. No. I'm just not even that. This is hypothetical.
Okay.
If it was proven that Dr. King was a womanizer, let's say using that for an example, okay? If it was proven that he was a womanizer, do that take away from do that diminish his accomplishment that he done for the program? Now, I got in trouble with a Hispanic lady one time because remember the issue that came up about the farm worker. What's his name? Chavez.
Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez. And but
yeah.
Remember that? Now the lady that was 96 years old, but before she revealed it all, okay. Now her position, I agree with her, because she said the reason she did not bring it forth because the movement was bigger than her. Okay, she didn't want to jeopardize the movement at all. That's why she kept quiet. But people that been victims of this don't agree with that. They saying that she should have brought him down, okay, and so forth. But all the things that Chavez done for the Hispanic community and all that for the farm workers, and not only Hispanic but farm workers across the United States, because of his womanizing, if you will, do that take away from his end of accomplishment? And I see people can hold a nose on one thing, but we got a man in the White House that is just probably as guilty of the same thing, that more guilty than everybody else. But they can accept that, but they cannot accept if Chavez did that, or if it came out that Dr. King would done that. I would speculate now. This is just if somebody came out and said Dr. King was a womanizer, and then they want to try to take his name off of streets and unveil his holidays, but do their, I guess, bad deed override the good deeds? It's just this kind of a young kids. Let me put it back. And the young kid would say, kind of a 6-7 question. So I don't know. Go ahead, Jerry.
No. As a matter of fact, they never proved Dr. King had extramarital affairs. But even if he did, it don't negate all the accomplishments and the work that went into his to making sure that his children and our children and us, or was working to bring people into the times that we needed to be in, to bring people out of the slave mind. One of the things that I can't think of that brother's name, but he was at one Kame and Krumi, not the brother here that took the name
and Krumi up in Detroit.
Yeah, he was. Was he H? I think he was H. Rap Brown before that.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what he said one thing Dr. King did that nobody else did before was to make. He got black people to look white people in the eyes when they talked, when they spoke. He spoke with authority, and he was right, because before people were bowing their head and looking off and all of that. But people got bold enough to look people in the eye and say, "No, I'm not. You're not going to do this to me anymore." And they walked in the face of death. As a matter of fact, when you walk up to a sheriff back then, you could be killed, and nothing was going to be done about it. You could walk up to an elected official at that time. You better be very, very careful for what you said. If you walked on the streets, white man, his family came. Now this happened to us in Arkansas, so I know these things happen. When you had to get off the street, you had to step to the side so him and his wife and family could walk by. So. But what King did and the legislation, King them just didn't protest. What I always tell people, they was writing legislation at the same time, and they had people that was great at it. But no, it don't negate none of the things that he did. As a matter of fact, I don't care about that part of his life because it don't affect me one way or the other. What would have affected me if he had said, "Now we're gonna work over here with these people because they are right," But he told them, "No, you are wrong. You are unjust. What you're doing is immoral and it's against against God's law." He tried to bring those individuals up to humanity, because they had taken our humanity, but in the process of taking our humanity, they lost their own humanity, the little they did have. But King was bringing back humanity. King was trying to save America, so it would protect us in the processing. So King did a wonderful job. He became the national spokesperson for the movement, but he never said he was a saint or a god. He was an ordinary man doing extraordinary things, and that's what we have to look at. People made King into a saint-like person, but Abernathy, in his book When the Walls Come Tumbling Down, he talked about. He said, he said that he did say King had extramarital affair, but in the process, he was telling people that King was an ordinary man,
Right.
with flaws like everybody else. He kept telling people, don't make him into a saint, because he's not a saint, because then other people will not try to reach what King was doing. It was gonna stop. And he said one of the things he talked about was that it wasn't black people making King a saint. It was white people, so that the other black people would not even try to reach that plateau.
Mhm. Well, I think you have to, you mentioned it a couple of times. I think you have to be able to separate,
Right.
understand, number one, understand the human versus the humanity, because the worst person you can think of can do the best thing that can be done. And so we saw what Andrew Carnegie, who was said to have which I know some states are going back to now, was said to have not even went around, because I don't know if the child labor laws were in place then, but were putting children into these labor pools and doing this atrocious things to even adults at working in the factories. And yet this same brother went on to help to fund and expand Booker T. Washington's work in education for African Americans. Booker T. Washington takes some of that money and helps W.E.B. Du Bois.
Right.
And so it's kind of this thread that you have to do. Carnegie ends up making this money in part on the backs of these atrocious labor practices that he does. So how do you separate the human from the humanity of it? Because you can then say, these people who are doing these atrocious things then do these philanthropic things over here at the end, but with this ill-gotten money. But it is, and I think that's where our head and heart do this battle, where we say, how do you in fact separate the work of Dr. King from the work in public that he's doing from this work in private? And Jerry, you can say that you don't care, and then you have J. Edgar Hoover over here who's building up a whole that seems to
while he putting his dress on every day.
Well, his nickname was Mary, and so he didn't want to come out of the proverbial closet. He wanted to keep his deeds and his personal deeds, his private deeds in the closet, but he wanted to open the closet and not even and sandblast Dr. King's out. And I think that's the again, I'm not a biblical scholar, but saying why you throwing something at me and you got something in your eye.
I had a friend of mine say, you always talking about that toothpick in my eye, but you never speak about that log in yours.
That's it. That's it. I don't know where that is in the Bible. Zechariah 127 verse 10 somewhere. That's somewhere in there.
It's in the Book of Blue Sound.
In the book. Oh, okay.
And the thing about it, J. Edgar Hoover, he was to hate black people like he did with his blackness. He was part black too, but to hate, he's like the Clarence Thomas of our day. The Samboism that they project on society just to be in close proximity to whiteness.
Again, homeboy, you bring up Clarence Thomas. Here we go. In 100 years, this brother be dead and gone, and will be celebrated as the second African American justice. Justice on the Supreme Court. And so, so it is without looking at his character. without looking at his character. Certainly, and Anita Hill would have a whole bunch, and the Anita Hills that came before her that we don't that didn't even come up to the microphone. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But the thing about it, the destruction that he has done and helping to destroy everything that we accomplished in the 60s. He have voted against. He have voted against. He voted to end affirmative action. He voted to destroy fair housing in this country. He voted to end voting rights in this country. Everything that we have accomplished over the years are now in jeopardy because of people like him. He could have had some kind of influence in helping, or either voted against and wrote a different kinds of decisions, so it would come down so that people would know he wasn't in cahoots with it, but he's in cahoots with it. He's been bought and sold like the slave that he is.
Well, and I wonder if the economics of of not just politics, but any of this, I wonder how it ends up pulling you one way or the other. So in the news in the last 3 or 4 years, it's been, that Clarence Thomas gained these favors through trips or through RVs or vacations or whatever that he gained, that if that pull was so much stronger than your morality, than the pull of your morality. And so that you say, morality be darned, I'm going to do this because I'm gaining this dime over here. So, and in his case, it is said a lot of dimes. And so I wonder if that pull is so forceful that you can say, this, I want to gain this. I am willing to gain this, gain the world, as we were saying earlier, and lose my soul. Yeah. For this, because this I know I can get. I don't know if I'm going to gain something later, but this I know I'm going to get right now.
And the thing about it, when you're appointed to the Supreme Court, you're appointed for life, which need to be changed now. I would say every 15 years, that, like they did in South Africa, you can only be on the courts for about 15 years. Now, you could be reappointed or be recommended to be reappointed if the Senate and House over there decide, okay, we like this guy, we're going to keep him on. But that's the way it should be. That, back when the Supreme Court was first established, and they wanted people on the Supreme Court, but they wanted people with knowledge and supposedly knowledge, because they had Tanner and all them on the Supreme Court. These were some of the most vile racists the world has ever seen. But at the same time, the people that they put on the Supreme Court, they was either in their late 50s or early 60s. So that that person, when they said a lifetime, the average person that lives no more than 10
or 12 years.
But now they putting people on 30 and 40 years old. That means that person gonna be on. That is a lifetime.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, speaking of Clarence Thomas, y'all see that piece that going around on social media?
Yeah, that Sambo music.
Yeah. Let me play it. I got it. I'm gonna play it for you.
He was a traitor, a Sambo, a Negro peen, a house Negro smiling for the throne. Used the ladder, kicked it away. Now he acts as if he climbed alone. Traitor. Sold the dream for privilege and applause. Forgot the blood in Mississippi. Forgot who fought Jim Crow laws. He's a traitor, a Sambo, a Negro peen, a house Negro smiling for the throne. Yeah, use the ladder, kicked it.
Now, what is a Negro peen? I never heard that expression.
That's a new one on me.
That's a Negro with a European mind.
Wow.
His mind is so colonized that he think he's one of them.
But you know, y'all know, y'all bring up a good point about that. That was the movie came back some time ago, and it deals with self-hatred. Okay, and I can't think of the name of the movie, but it was about this black soldier and a soldier story. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah, Soldier Story. Yeah, Soldier Story.
Yeah. So that gives me. It talks about self-hatred and how, that's just some really interesting stuff. Why people you talk about being a Negro peen and how black folks do away with their own culture in defense for other people's culture. It's amazing how that works. What's the psychology behind all of that? You would think that you would want to, you wouldn't want to do what Clarence Thomas is doing. You would think you would try to uplift your race of your own people, but yet you're working against your own culture. And you're working. What's the theory behind that?
It's a term called internalized oppression. I don't know if it's a psychological term or a sociological term, but it's a term called internalized oppression, where you then take on, and in this term as what Jerry's saying, a European, no, not European. What do they call it?
Negro peen. A Negro peen.
that you're seeing yourself in the mirror as that you're envisioning yourself as one thing and loving it, but you're hating the very thing that you are. Yeah. And so then you end up
what they call that?
Internalized oppression. And so then you end up internalized oppression. You're
internalized oppression.
You're oppressing yourself. You're going against your own interests. It's like they said the black folks, Negroes, colored folks who fought for the South during the Civil War. So you're fighting to maintain that legal state that you're in as an enslaved person, as immoral as that seems to be, as unrighteous as it is, that you're in fact fighting for that. So even when people say that
like Stephen on Jingo, did you see Jingo?
Oh yes, yes.
Like Stephen.
Yes,
Stephen. What you doing on that name?
What's his name?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Like he played that role.
He did.
He gave internalized oppression a face and a voice.
Yeah,
he that is the face and the voice of internalized oppression. That's it.
And a psychological. And a psychological slave.
That's it. That's an example.
And he showed, he exposed just how deep that thing runs.
Yeah.
That he was smarter than the master, because he was the one keeping the books. He took care of the money, made sure the house,
household, managed everything, made him money.
He really managed the whole thing.
Yeah.
But he was so that slave mentality ran so deep internally, and as Robin said, that oppression, that he didn't know that he was the man.
Yeah. What is it? Was it Sojourner Truth who said, "I would have freed more people if they known they were enslaved"? If they were slaves. Yeah. Yeah. And it is, and sometimes, as you've spoken quite often, Jared, that it is that mentality of being there, that's saying that what I have now, as oppressed as I am, what I have now is better than anything I can think or imagine. And so I envision myself looking like this person that I admire, while I'm abhorring the person who I really am. And so I'm going to do everything I can, not only to change who I am, but I'm going to do everything to dismantle who who my people are. So I'm just like Stephen. He was tearing down the household. The women he was letting he wasn't going up against when they were letting the two when they were in the upstairs room or whoever, letting the men fight, to the death.
Right.
And so he's sitting there and he's controlling the household and talking about the women and then giving these women over to it. He is the man. He's the poster child. See, his bejesus off.
Jerry and Robin, I know, Jerry, I gave this to you all for the assignment. I don't know if y'all ever seen it or not, but the Jones Plantation. Did you ever look at that movie?
Oh, the Free State of Jones. Yes, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see it. What is it? How do you? Is it what?
It's called the Jones Plantation. It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi.
Tubi. Okay.
It's on Tubi and the other one, I can't remember the other one.
That's the movie that they did, the Free State of Jones. Is that based on that? That is based on that.
I'm not sure about the Free State. I'm not familiar with the Free State of Jones.
Based on that, they did a movie. That's the one in Mississippi, or
no. This is a whole. Along the lines, the same thing. It's a Stephen. It's almost a Stephen movie where you got this black. Ex-slave was coming in and teaching masters on how to control their slaves. Yeah, you need to see that. You need to see that.
That's not the Free State of Jones.
Oh no! I didn't think so. You need to see this. You need to see this. And basically, it's called the Jones Plantation. Wow. And it's kind of it's a film about maintaining control through deception, basically, and how you can tell black folks that. If you look at it, it's a fact today. You know how you can tell folks one thing and they have false expectations, but because they're hearing it from a black man, they thinking that it will benefit them, but actually it wasn't benefiting them. It was benefiting their slave owners and so forth. But it's just a good talking piece film that you need to, and you can see a lot of things in that film that relating with us today. But it's basically about this false hope of freedom,
Wow. Well, that on the flip side of that, that's why everyone should learn about all of this history. Particularly white Americans learning about African American history. So you don't want to pigeonhole that African American history is only for African Americans. It's why we all put on green when it comes to St. Patrick's Day. Everybody's name, you start appending, and my name becomes Robin O. Richard. We can all go in and celebrate.
Oh, Robin Richard.
Right? Yeah. We can end up celebrating these cultures. And I used to like before my knee severe issues, I used to like running in the McGuire's parade, because at the end, you get some adult beverages and bananas and this soup, and it's such a festive. You've run this 5 miles or this 3.5 miles, 5K. You run this, and then everybody's celebrating. We're all of our Irishness, right? we're all celebrating. We're all celebrating. But it does go to the point on the movie on the other side that I was thinking you were talking about. The Free State of Jones talks about this white family that was that said, wait a minute, I don't want to send my paraphrasing here. I don't want to send my family, my white family, in to fight your war, because you're not protecting me. You're not, you're only protected certain whites in this. You're not protecting my kind of white, if you will. You're not protecting the common white person, the common white landowner, the common white farmer, the common white tenant. You're not looking out to protect me. You're looking to protect your way of life, which still keeps me as subservient as a white person. And so it was that sort of thing. So the Free State of Jones was saying, no, I'm not going to fight in your Civil War. I'm not going to do it. And it's based on a true story. And I believe it was out of Mississippi. So yeah, so even I heard you say earlier, Vernon, about, that you have these Southern politicians, and not all of them were racist. But they did want to keep that way of life, and that way of life had them in control. And so here you have these people who say, I want to fight for this, even if it keeps somebody else down, even if that somebody else down looks like me. And that's how we get back to somebody like Clarence Thomas, who I'm going to armchair analyze him, that he has this internalized oppression about himself, that I'm gonna keep rising up even as I'm holding somebody else down. I'm gonna be, as y'all said, I'm gonna be Stephen in a robe.
and the thing about it, you got to get up every morning and look in the mirror and shave and stuff and hate what you are shaving.
Yeah.
But you
Toni Morrison's the bluest eyes. It's Toni Morrison's the bluest eyes. Yeah. I want my eyes to be like this doll. I don't like my brown eyes. I want my eyes to be like this white doll. Yeah.
And the thing about it, you are saying somehow that God has made a mistake.
You're
saying that God made a mistake. I made you first. You are the original people of the earth, and you telling me I made a mistake. I God, and the God in you, you done disband for a white face rather than the internal God that's in you. You're saying that God somehow made a mistake, and I know better than you, God. I've only got I got an expiration date on this earth, and God don't have one. But you don't. You have so internalized, such self-hatred for yourself that you are holding God in contempt.
Can I get personal with y'all for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
There was I don't know who made the product, but when I was a child, I've always dealt with acne, and I still deal with adult acne, and I have scars to not only to prove it, but to, when things go wrong on my face. I have these scars. And there was a product, I think it came out maybe in the 60s, but this one in the 70s, and it was I don't know if it's still made, but it was ambient. It had this thing in it where it would darken. It said it would lighten your dark spots, and so I had dark spots, and so I would put it on. What they found was that yes, it did work, and so the extended use of that, and not only in Black women, but in other cultures, where in Indian cultures, where even to be, I'm going to hold my hand up, even to be this color as the back of my hand or the front of my hand was said to, this side, the palm of my hand was said to be too dark. And so that they would put this, I think it was hydroquinone, something like that.
I remember Andy.
They would put it over their whole face in order to lighten it. That practice still goes on today in some African countries and Asian countries. I dare say it still goes on in America, in different cultures, depending on what you think is you consider too dark. So that is this physical manifestation of this internalized oppression, that I want to change my whole skin color, that I want to do this. And you can see where people are lightening, and you can tell, you can see, like when you go up into your hairline, it's darker than it's on your face. But this stuff, and it's a temporary thing because it works. So you have to continue. I had to, as a teen, I had to continuously put it on. So I thought, wait a minute, this you got to put it on, and then you got to wash your hands after. You can't get it here, can't get it there, else you have to do all of these medical things. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm putting it on my face. This makes no sense. I can try to do some correction, but let me try the prevention. Let me go on the other end of this. But there are, and now what they're finding, because it's not regulated like it is in the U.S. and some other countries, they're finding that people are putting in things that are now damaging, that are very damaging. It's not regulated, and so it's damaging. And so when you're trying to change, when you're doing this physical manifestation of internalized oppression, it becomes permanent. So you have this permanent damage, not only to your face, not only you're doing it inside, but now you have it to your face. And there are cases of, I don't know about men, but there are cases of many women who have done this physical and permanent damage to their face because they cannot accept the beauty that their skin color is, whether it is, as my daddy used to say, light bright to darn near white to dark brown, get down. You know?
Blue black.
Blue black, yeah. I know. Get back. That's what it was. Some whole line. Yeah, some rhyme they used to laugh about.
But you know that is the sad part of our history that I remember back in the day. We used to call it. They used to sell it under Archer. You remember that Archer bleaching cream and stuff like that?
Oh,
they used to advertise it on. They used to advertise it in Jet and Ebony magazine, and when we used to listen to. Did y'all listen to the WLAC radio? Yeah. Okay,
out of Tennessee.
That wasn't out
of Tennessee.
Okay.
Out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay,
WLAC. That's where they would play black music at 10 o'clock at night with John R. and the Horseman and all those kind of folks. And they had, and they used to heavily advertise black products like bleach, like Archer bleach cream and what you call it? Naola, Camerol, and a whole bunch of
Crown.
Also,
Jerry, that was hair grease.
I know,
but also that stuff that you put on your that pooty smelling stuff that you put on your face, the shave was when you couldn't shave. What to call that?
Magic shade. The magic shade.
But anyway, listen, I know the FDA is going through some things right now, but thank God for them in the beginning. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank God for them in the beginning.
No, you know who I think? I'm thinking James Brown. I'll tell you. I believe James Brown was so he gonna go down in he should go down in the annal history as being one of the most when he came out being black and proud. I'm telling you. Then that's when we start looking at say it loud on Black and Not Proud. And that's when we start looking at our own natural self. That's when we start getting into afros and black is beautiful and stuff like that. Being proud of your own race instead of trying to assimilate white people, you know. And because
it was a standard even that you would see in the early African American newspapers right here in Pensacola in the Colored Citizen. I don't know that you saw it in the Baker's paper. I can't remember the name of the Baker's paper, or that you saw it in or excuse me, you saw it or the Florida Sentinel. I don't know that earlier paper. I don't know that you saw it, but certainly in the Colored Citizen, you would see that same when you're talking about on the radio, you would see these advertisements about skin lightening, and so they would have it would be I'm laughing at it now because it's ridiculous, but again, I'm armchair quarterback in history. Is they would have a person in profile, and then they would take it looked like they would take a dark pencil and shave and color them in, and then this was the before, and then the after they would take that away, and it was like it's a before and after, use this product, whatever that product was. It wasn't Ambi, but whatever that product was, and so you would see that, and I don't know if you saw it like in the the Chicago Defender or the Detroit Tribune or the Washington Bee, those, but you would see it in some African American owned newspapers. And so, newspapers run on advertisements, advertisements, however you say it. And so, that's how they make their money. So it is back to your original question, Vernon, about how do you separate that? I know we were talking about Herschel Walker and Dr. King, but how do you separate that? We want this information through the newspaper, But then here they are saying, these are the early newspapers I'm talking about. Here they are saying, you know, buy this and you can be light, bright, and darn near white, you know. So it is, and yet they're sending us this information about African Americans and these amazing things that are happening all over the country. And then you see this advertisement.
In Africa now they are beginning to ban all this bleaching cream because Ibrahim Traoré has came and made the country, the whole continent really beginning to wake up because of what they are doing in the Sahel over there in West Africa. And, other countries are joining forces with, I think Nigeria just banned bleaching cream because, in this day and time, many of those countries are still wearing those white wigs as sitting on judiciary, wearing a white wig. And Ibrahim Traoré and all of those individuals are banning all of that.
That's the residual effects of colonization.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now they, he's telling you got to wear the kente cloths and the wraps and the clothing. The language has they got to speak the language of their country when they are teaching over there, and it's bringing out the proudness. And you see that one of the things before he's focused on women at the highest level because he understands, as those who of us who really understand, that here it is the women who shapes the destiny of a nation. If they have no seat at the table, if they have no control, they are depressed. In other words, depressed and oppressed. So that he's helping to bring that back to Africa, where women was always some of the greatest warriors, kings were women. And women was always governors and all of that in Africa. And we took on the mentality of the Leopolds and the Ciceros and all of those who came into Africa and destroy the foundation of what Africa was built on, which was equal, based on an egalitarian principle, equal leadership from both women and men. And most of the time it was women.
Not all.
Right.
I wish they were as forward thinking as you are.
No, I'm saying that's what it was before. That's it's not now, but before. It was based on the egalitarian principle. You go back and read about it was so many queens that was
absolutely,
and there was leaders, and they were leading men, not the other way around. They came with this.
Yeah, women still are to this day. But go ahead. I already said behind every great man, there's a woman either pulling them or behind pushing him. But anyway, go ahead, Jerry.
Walking beside
Vernon. Watch yourself, Vernon. Watch yourself.
They are. I'm telling you,
there's
a lot to be said about that, Robin. A lot to be said about it. Every great man. Now, listen.
We're not kicking somebody forward as Eddie Todd does. I'm just gonna blast his name out there up for good. I always tease him about that. I tell people. If you want something done, don't tell Eddie Todd because he gonna kick you to do it. He go, well, okay, all right, let's get it.
Sometimes people need to be pushed. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people need to be, sometimes they need to be pulled. So no wonder the Lord is such a great man. He got a great woman pushing him and pulling him.
Wait a minute,
dragging him along.
There are some people still can't believe we've been married almost 20 years. There's some people still can't believe. They're like, really, y'all married? Your personality, his personality. Yes, listen, opposites attract. Even here, y'all hear him say, y'all see what I put up with? Y'all see what I put up with?
Yeah.
Oh my
But
Lord. Oh
I want
my
to go back to something y'all said about, this thing about what was famous in the 60s of bleaching your face and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's still, we see in the remnant. Take Michael Jackson. What do you think he did? He did the same thing. Nicki Minaj, all those folks, Sarasota, what that ball player name? All those folks, they still, to a degree, doing the same kind of thing, don't you?
But I understand Michael Jackson had vitiligo, that was his.
Yeah.
That he had a skin condition that precipitated, trying to even out his skin tone. So the disease that ends up
Making black folk white.
But yeah.
What you call it? It's got another name, but you need proper names. What's the common name?
It was called leprosy before.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of black people.
Contagious. I don't think
that was.
contagious.
I'm glad you. Okay.
But
So you're saying that. Okay, really? Okay, I don't know.
Like, what is the name?
But what about Robin? All right. And the reason I believe that about Michael Jackson, he was vain enough. Now he didn't have he trimmed down his nose.
Well, now listen.
Okay.
Yeah, he
now,
did
why wouldn't
that.
he lighten his skin if he trimmed down his nose?
Well, no, I think that was
put a clench in his chin.
A way to even it. Let me look it up real quick. Let's just align it.
Okay?
But now those are cosmetic things that he's doing with the cheek implants, the dimple in his chin, whatever they call that, the thinner. The thinner nose.
Well, what was that all about? Why were you happy being who he was?
Well, it was that, in fact, that same thing. It was that internalized depression that you could not accept who you were. Yeah, it's called vitiligo.
Who you are and where you were
diagnosed with vitiligo. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the things,
white patches on the skin and sensitivity to sunlight.
Right. One of the things that Michael Jackson, most people miss, Michael Jackson, he became neutral in his black and whiteness. But the thing about it, if you listen to some of Michael Jackson's songs,
he became
like Earth
Switzerland?
Song.
Is that what you're saying? Michael Jackson was Switzerland?
No, I said he was neutral.
I know. I'm saying you were like the racial Switzerland.
I ain't black, I ain't white. I ain't black, I ain't white. You know?
Oh yeah, he did have that song. Yeah.
But if you listen to his Earth Song, and then he did this song in the prison system, They Don't Care About Us. It was the video he did with Eddie Murphy and all them, it was a total black video of kings and queens and
Liberian Girl.
Liberian Girl was another one. But a lot of the songs that he sung, most people miss because of his music was so powerful. The way he arranged, and him and Quincy Jones arranged the music, you heard the music.
Yeah.
But if you listen to some of the words, the lyrics was awesome.
And we know like when he did Billie Jean.
Yeah, Billie Jean, yeah.
He did that in China, ain't my child.
No.
So the baby looked just like me though.
But we
like the baby. What they said about the preacher? That baby preacher looked just like the preacher.
Like the mailman, huh? Oh my Lord!
Go there, y'all.
I think you need to have Reverend J.O. Gaston come on after we finish.
Well.
Oh my Lord!
Now we got to do some history on the mailman. Now, okay, really.
No, we don't. We don't want to go to the mailman.
There's a lot of half-white children on his route.
Oh my Lord, have mercy! Oh my God. Oh my Lord, have mercy! And you don't get light skin just by being with a white person. Now let's dispel that myth. I must have white somewhere in my family. Don't.
Yeah, I got African in me. Straight up.
All right, y'all, we'll get back on topic.
Yeah, we'll get back. we get back on this internalized oppression.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. But I think, I think we have to make sure that not only we call it as we see it and have this conversation like we're doing now, but also in our families when we say things like, "Oh, you're pretty for a black girl," or yeah, you got good hair.
Yeah.
Some of these ways that we do these kind of sly compliments to me really goes
backdoor, what I call backdoor compliments.
Backdoor compliments, that really goes against the culture, that really goes against who I am. That's a challenge, and I know we disagree, but just because somebody sags their pants, that they may be doing it for a whole nother reason, but that ain't got nothing to do with their intelligence.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes
I'm not saying
they do.
Hey, I'm not saying it's the smart thing to do now. I'm not saying it's the smart thing to do, it's the wise thing to do. I'm just saying that has nothing to do with that person's intelligence. Now they may be going for something very different than I'm willing to buy. So but I think we have to look at it politically, but we also have to look at it personally and how we celebrate people based on their the way they look, the how many curls they have in their hair, how tight the curls are, how long or short their hair is, how wide or slim their waist, their hip are. We talked about the BBLs and all of that, and so really, how do you have that conversation at home as you're raising your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews, to make sure that you instill that sense of pride in who they are, so that you build up their brains, and use the as we talk about, use the good food to build up their bodies, but build up their brains. That's just as important, and so that when they look in the mirror, they don't want some different eye color, as Toni Morrison wrote about, or they don't, they see themselves as the beauty that they are, and not, I need to, can you, nothing against this, but can you press my hair,
right,
so that it can do something certain, because all of the girls in my classroom have that. My niece, I'm gonna tell on myself again, my little great niece and great niece and I were out getting some stuff for the garden, for the yard, for our food, and so she wanted to buy a doll, and she wanted to do this doll for this hair, and so number one, I told her we're buying things for the garden, so you're not, but she couldn't tell me why she wanted to buy this doll except for to mess with the hair. So I pointed to another doll. This doll was white, and I pointed to another doll that she didn't care for. And so it sort of hearkened me. I was not buying the doll anyway, but I wanted to kind of see where her head is. As young as she is, I wanted to see where her head is. And so without denying her the pleasure of having fun, but it harkened back to that experiment that they did in the 60s, the white doll versus the black doll, and saying that which one is pretty. And I think 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, the children went to the white doll. So it is what we are showing our children and telling our children. I remember one of my sisters, I'll say this in hush, one of my sisters was saying something about the pictures on my wall, and she said, well, you have black art on your wall. I said, no, I have art. I have art.
Mm-hmm.
It's just art. It's just art. It's by different artists, but it's art. And so it's not, black art. It's just it's art. And so I see the reflection of what I like, what I want to attain, or what inspires me, or what draws me in, and this is it. And I make no excuses for it. And so if I go to someone else's house and they have white figures in there. I'm not going there. There's no judgment there. You know, it's what draws you.
Notice you got white art on your wall, huh?
But don't what?
But you know, Robin, what you're saying is, but what you're projecting on that wall and the young people see it, it makes them, you know, you plant a seed in their mind. And the thing about it, what we have not done is taught our children the history of who they are, you know, and if you don't teach that, they're going to take on what they see. Not, you know, because, you know, if we are not exposing our children to the history of who we were, or who we are, and who we were before slavery, and we got to go back to that. We got to go back to when sisters was queens, warriors, queens running. You know, the pharaohs. You know, there were women who were pharaohs, but most people don't know that. And Pharaoh is not the one that's talked about in the Bible. There were many pharaohs before that Pharaoh who were great people. You know, there was, and then we have to go back and do the research on why that Pharaoh was that Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But there were women who was pharaohs who built the great libraries of the world, who was also building great pyramids. You know, we have to go back to Benin, where the wall was greater than China's Great Wall. You know, we have to go back to all of these ancient places and talk about who we were and how we got to where we are today.
Learn the lessons that they taught us through their efforts. Absolutely. And their accomplishments and their challenges. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And we got to tell them, like the brothers, you know, was it Kwame and Nkrumah that said, you know, the missionary came with the Bible, and, you know, and had us closing our eyes and praying. When we opened our eyes, we had the Bible and they had the land. So, you know, those are the, you know, we gave up the spirituality. God don't bless the people who give up what I've given you. You wasted it, you know, because you saw something else over here and thought it was better.
Yeah, the grass may be green on the other side, but the water be higher too. So
I gave you the Garden of Eve. And there's nothing in the world that works without going to the Garden of Eve. You know, which is the whole continent of Africa. You know, and most people are looking for the Garden of Eden, they standing on it.
Yeah.
Because there's not a television or battery or anything that can run without going to Africa and get the lithium, go and get cobalt, go and get gold. Yeah, all the raw materials that run the world is right there. You know, and that's why I love Abraham Torre, is because he's waking up Africa to, hey, this is the Garden of Eden. You know, this is what God gave us from the very beginning. We you know, in our mind, we picturing this little spot with a garden, with a tree in it, with a snake going up and eating the apple. You know, but that's in our mind's eye.
So we gotta end where we began with Herschel Walker. So if only Herschel Walker, Ambassador Herschel Walker could gain this message that, you know, that, and I'm not saying that the brother has it, or Clarence Thomas, but if internalized oppression is sitting on your back or sitting on your shoulders, you know, figure a way to love yourself and not to hold yourself down or anyone else down. And that goes for all of us, not to hold ourselves down or anyone else down so that we gain something, whether it's monetary or status or anything like that, because those things are fleeting. They are absolutely fleeting. So this is more than jet skis.
You know, I'm gonna have to run, y'all, but because I got to get down here, move for change. We got this banquet tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Talk to us about the banquet, Jerry. Talk to us real quick about it.
Well, it's our banquet is tomorrow at at the doors open at 5 o'clock tomorrow at It's Personal, and it's Movie for Change 29th Annual Freedom is Not Free banquet. And our keynote speaker is Jasmine Burney Clark, who is the founder and senior advisor to Eco Ground. She's an AKA. She was the Harris Point person here in the state of Florida. The social hour start at 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock. The program start at 6 o'clock, and our tickets are $60. We still have some tickets left. You need to get them today if you come into the banquet, because we will not be selling tickets at the door. We will hold some at the door, but we will not be selling any at the door. So that's at 2610 West Cervantes Street. It's Personal. And we also going to have a silent auction, door prizes. So come on out and be a part of something greater. And because this helps us to get back and forth to Tallahassee to fight some of this legislation that has to be fought. Whether, we might not always win. There are some things that we do win on, but there are others that, that because the House and the State House and the State Senate is a super majority, and then the governor is a Republican. So you have nobody to veto a lot of this legislation. As a matter of fact, he's the one that pushed forward, along with the Heritage Foundation and other organization who write the legislation and give it to our legislators to push forward, and he signs it into law. But it's a lot of nasty legislation that's passed, like the SAVE Act here in the state of Florida. These are going to hurt people trying to register to vote and things of that nature. Women autonomy, body autonomy, education, everything is, the redistricting. All of this is part of what they are doing to eliminate Black voting power and Black representation here in the state of Florida. So we don't have to fight that day and night. And this sister, Jasmine Burney Clark, they are legislative geniuses when it comes to working with the organizations around the states to help inform us on how the legislation work, what legislation that need to be pushed, others that need to be denied, and but they do a state tour every year, and they've been here before, and we'll be at Hearst Chapel again. They address the legislation, how it's going to affect us from our day-to-day lives.
Okay, and don't forget also tomorrow, Juneteenth celebration is downtown, and so I hope that the weather may not cooperate tomorrow. So we'll see how that's going to play out as well. But they're having a Unity Fest. Go ahead.
Will they be inside if it does rain at the inside the facility, inside the Adoration for a New Beginning?
I don't know. So I have to check with Marcel to see. But I don't know what their plans for their backup plan. I don't know. But all I do know is plan to have the Unit Fest. It's planned to go on tomorrow, as I know it, and so hopefully God will smile on us and make sure that we have dry weather, at least during that period. But people please be aware that we got a system coming through. So hopefully that
it's raining over here right now. I'm out here in Cantonment, but then it rain here if it don't rain nowhere else.
Well, you're a little bit further north. Listen, my Garden of Eden, my Garden of EATIN, my Garden of Eden, my Garden of Eden is thanking it very. And so is my water bill. So
Jerry, I know you got to go, but I want to ask this bougie girl here. She grew up bougie, you know that, right? School teacher, dad was a government administrator, mama was school teacher. They grew up bougie. Me and you grew up on the farm, and we had gone, but I don't understand, Jerry. I mean, Robin, explain to me Well, bougie girl like you decide to have, it must be your husband. Why do you have a garden? Which
Number
Jerry
one,
always advocate that we all should have one
my
because we got a
dad was
problem. Neither
not
in
a
the future, but go
government
ahead.
official. My dad was not a government official.
You a 33-degree Mason.
he knew the government officials now. He knew him.
But you still was bougie.
So two things. One, my great grandfather on my dad's side was a farmer, and we are still the beneficiaries of that. He did 40 acres on one, 46 acres and one on the other side. Grandfather had 40 acres, and so they were farmers. So that sort of blood was in me. And then Lloyd's grandfather farmed on 5 acres that they reacquired. They never lost it, but the siblings have it now that they acquired. And so one day Lloyd says that he wants to farm like his granddaddy farm. So I get my before I had some flowers, that was about it. So I get the shovel and the hoe ready and the pitchfork ready. I said, all right, baby, we finna go out and do this before I don't till the soil anymore. I'd let the worms do that, but this time I said we're gonna go out and turn the soil. And my fine smart husband said, baby, I'm allergic to dirt.
Dirt or work.
Dirty work.
He said I'm allergic to dirt. I think you will never see me doing 3 things. One, drinking and driving. You won't see me doing drugs. You won't see me with guns. You won't see if anybody say Robin had guns or drugs, and you won't see that. You won't see that.
Driving drunk with drugs and guns. But go ahead.
On that day, I came close to saying some words that would have killed my husband. Lord have mercy. This sucker said I'm allergic to dirt. I think I threw every shovel, pick, hoe down. I think I went back in the house. Went back, and then he gonna laugh. He gonna start laughing at it too. So okay, all right. I need to rethink this thing. So I planted some. I think I did just the little round watermelons, and then some of the children in the neighborhood, they would come. We have a long driveway, so they would play basketball in the driveway, and by the time they finished playing basketball, when those watermelons, I think every watermelon was splattered open. So I said, okay, I gotta do something different here, because obviously I'm going at this alone. And so that's when I started. So that was about 2008, something like that, 2009, something like that. So yeah. So
you've been farming ever since.
Been farming ever since. We have a garden and an orchard, and I try to, the older I get and the challenges, physical challenges, I just raise up the garden beds and keep the trees lowered so that we can just pick the fruit. We got some pears coming in, and thank God for the rain, because the grapes are coming in really, really good, and it's nice to just go out and pick some tomatoes and blackberries and all that. Try to get them for the birds. Get them. They say you plant for 3 things. You plant for yourself, the birds, and the thieves.
Yeah. Well, let me see your thumb.
Let me see
that thumb. Let me see. Is it? See, that's why I can't get a garden. My thumb is not green.
See, you should ask me. Let me see your fingernails, because these are the what do you call that? A pedicure. These ain't seen a pedicure. My daughter treated me to a pedicure last year on my birthday. They ain't seen a pedicure in almost 20 years. So until she gifted that to me last year. So no, you should say, let me see your fingernail bed. That's what you want at the garden. That still probably got dirt up under there. It seems like it never ever comes out. It never ever comes out. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, Vern, one last thing.
Okay.
Sheila's having a big birthday party at the same place. It's personal. It's she got BK Jackson, the saxophonist and company. That's July 12th and the doors open at 5 p.m. The show starts at 6. Tickets are $50.
That's on a Sunday, right?
Yeah, it's on a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, July 12th.
I know somebody's not going to be on Our Voices, huh?
No, I'll be on.
He gonna be suited and booted on that day. You think he come on looking fly? He gonna be really fly. He gonna be super fly. He gonna be super fly. He gonna look like the Met Ball, the Met Gala, whatever you call that thing. He gonna come up in there. We're gonna doom. We're gonna be like, what is this music? Is this Isaac Hayes music following you in here? Homeboy gonna be looking fly.
Who's the black
Flyer.
Make sure you send me a flyer on that so we can promote it.
Yeah, I'll tell her to send you one.
Okay. Y'all got anything else for the good of the order?
We so Pensacola Network is next Friday, June 26th. We're going to be celebrating with Par 4 Golf. They are celebrating 51 years for their golf, their charity golf tournament. 51 years this year. So come out. That's free and open to the public, but that organization has been around since the 60s. And so the original 9 that started that organization, there's some of those brothers are still living, and so they will be celebrating with us. So it is great to celebrate that. And then on that Sunday, June 28th, is going to be the Black Nonprofit Group Workshop, and we're going to host that at the Kukua Institute. And so I'll send you the flyer on that. They just came out with the speakers on that. I'll send you the flyer on that.
Okay. All right. Now, also, you're speaking of Par 4. I'm going to have Lester Smith on Tuesday.
Oh, wonderful.
At 8:30, you're going to be talking about the Par 4 organization and the tournament as well. So
and he's going to be our special guest. So all of
Lester.
All of Par 4 will be there, but he will be our special guest talk about suited and booted. You know, you have to look from the head to the toe, because that he looked like he stepped off a runway every day. He wake up looking like he stepped off a runway out there.
Yep. Jared gonna have competition, huh?
You're gonna have competition. You're gonna have to make them both walk the runway. That's it.
All right, Jared. Anything before we go?
No, I better get up out of here. But I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
All right, Robin. What about you?
That's it. Thank you. This is a great conversation. I still need to talk about the Spain. We'll talk about him next week.
Yeah.
Or maybe,
talk about who?
You know what? We'll go over the history of because Osceola is celebrating 100 years this year. And
really?
Osceola, but they actually started last year, and so it was 50 years for the Par 4 Golf Charity and 100 years for Osceola. They actually broke ground 100 years ago last year in 1925. And so the only picture I've been able to find was one that was running a news article. You can see that there was a white gentleman on the tractor, and there were 2 or 3 black gentlemen there when they broke ground. So I'm still trying to do some identification in that. And so yeah. So Osceola has been really important, even though we couldn't play there until much later, until decades later. Again, what we were talking about earlier, they still worked to ensure that recreation was available to folks, even though they could not even play there. So Par 4 is to be celebrated for them continuing to break ground, even as they play and have fun. So we'll talk about Par 4 next Thursday.
All right, y'all enjoy your Juneteenth day while lasting, okay? Because you never know. All right. I'll see y'all next Thursday.
Good events tomorrow.
All righty, y'all. Y'all have a great day, okay?
All right.
WBQP wishes everyone a happy Juneteenth.
From the station that cares.
It's time for Mornings with Vernon. Yeah. Yeah. Get up now. Come on now.